The 5G challenge is a really incredible feat. ITS is partnering with the Department of Defense to really bring together companies, academics from across the country to really collaborate on innovation and how we really can further and facilitate open, interoperable, trusted networks in the 5G ecosystem.
So good morning and welcome to the 2023 5G Challenge closing ceremony.
The 5G challenge that the NTIA and the OUSD have put together, it's an incredible industry event. It's actually putting together partners that typically don't meet in the marketplace. In a normal course of actions, when we show up to O-RAN challenges, you typically show up with partners you worked with in the past. In this challenge, it's a cold play. You are actually mixing and matching industry leaders that never worked together. That was an incredible challenge. Pressure, as we say, always make diamonds, and this was an incredible event.
We have proven multiple times that any number of vendors can come together and make the software, their products interoperable.
Working with Mavenir on the end-to-end testing and on the mobility testing was huge. It was for 3 weeks, you get together, we've never met them, you get in the lab and you've got to go through a discrete number of tests. So that was a huge accomplishment for New Edge.
It was quite tough. We were paired with, I think, multiple partners across these various stages. So it was a good learning exercise, I would say. Made a lot of friends and learned a lot.
We don't want to call it mature, then maybe we're done. We don't need to do anything. I think we're at a point where we've matured a lot over the year. We've seen a lot more vendors, even in the 5G challenge. We've grown the vendors, and we're seeing more advanced use cases.
Well, the great success come with a great challenge. That's why you feel success. And I think the multi-vendor collaboration is the success.
Now there is going to be conversations about how we collectively all move this ecosystem forward, because that's the only way it's going to work. It cannot be open if each person is going to stick to their guns and just do it their way. It will not be open.
Cable Labs is an incredible place in that they have a long history of bringing together all parts of industry so that they can cooperate, collaborate, and really understand and test, and do it in a way which is they trust one another. And so in that collaboration, we're really able to make a lot of significant gains that wouldn't otherwise be done.
O-RAN is an exciting next step in allowing the networks of the future to be able to expand, be able to be supported, but more importantly, do that in a cost-effective and efficient way. There's always new technologies, there's new innovations, there's new ideas. The ability to track smaller vendors, entrepreneurs in, and encourage them and provide that support allows for a robust world where we can see these new technologies coming into the market much quicker and on a much broader scale than any one vendor could do on their own.
As Colorado's U.S. Senator, John is committed to bringing people together to solve our country's toughest problems.
Reliable and secure communications is fundamental to our national security and to maintaining U.S. leadership in technology and innovation.
And we all know that telecom impacts every aspect of our lives, and when we improve the technology, it's the underpinning for so many things we do, how we live, how we work, how we learn, how we receive health care, and there are benefits across all of those sectors and more.
Open RAN must remain neutral to the implementations and giving the vendors a freedom to adopt flexible approaches to develop network components using the ideal mixture of hardware and software.
When you look at a challenge, we often do this when we don't necessarily know the right answers. And so you want to open this up to the rest of the world. When you challenge the world and you challenge the engineers, who steps up and competes and who's able to complete the task at hand?
What we liked about the 5G NTIA challenge was the very clear specifications they had and goals and time frame, which focuses everybody in their collaboration.
The whole event was, I think, the multiple stages, like stage 1 till stage 4, and they've given and put the focused and the detailed plan for all the stages even before the event has started.
For the 5G challenge, we had 4 different stages. Stage 1 was the white paper application, where contestants submitted a paper for consideration into the contest. Stage 2 of the contest was the wraparound emulator portion of the test. In stage 3 of the contest, we did end-to-end system integration test, where vendors integrated with a partner that they had never integrated with before. We called this cold pairing because they'd never done this. In stage 4, the contestants did mobility testing. And what mobility is when you're going down the road and you have a call on your cell phone. As you go between towers, you don't want to drop a call. Mobility is a pretty advanced concept for testing the Open RAN network. And this is where we really push the envelope.
What was surprising, at least to me, was that the mobility testing that we conducted in stage 4 could be successfully exercised by everyone that reached it in less time than we allocated. When we defined the challenge, we felt that this last stage was the risky stage. And yet, all of our competitors were, that were able to reach that stage, were able to get through it. So that was another surprise, a pleasant one, I must say.
For us and everybody else, it actually gives the confidence and the comfort that we can go out and say, yeah, we are compliant to these specifications, and any other vendor could come and then work with us.
And that independent validation has been absolutely fabulous for a company like us. Now we have an independent source that we can show our customers that our radio meets the O-RAN specs, the O-RAN conformance.
I would like to thank the NTIA this year for increasing the award prize pool. It helps us to justify assigning critical resources to this project. That means we have to pull our critical resources off of revenue-generating projects. It's very helpful, again, knowing that there's a chance for some compensation along with the challenge.
The momentum that this has created, the excitement that we've seen with the people that were here, not just the vendors themselves, not just NTIA, but the larger government presence that has been interested in working with this type of technology. These are the types of things that we've always been hopeful for a challenge like this can produce, and I think we've seen that to great effect with this one.
This particular project, we think, is very exciting for us from the standpoint of the direct impact on consumers' lives. The future of both 5G, 6G, and beyond, we believe will take advantage of this work that started off here in the project of the 5G challenge.
I wish I were an engineer, but as a policy person, as a lawyer, and as the deputy administrator at NTIA, I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this project, because I think this is what America does best. We bring the best minds together, we collaborate, we step forward, and we lift up to lead in innovation. And I mean, isn't that cool that we're doing that in kind of a public-private partnership way and giving this a lot of, kind of wings to fly?